Hi, this is Graciously Gloria. Today, you're going to bake with me. We're going to make a French apple pie with all my fresh apples that I picked. I go annually apple picking every October and love to make lots of fun apple recipes with my apples, and this pie is delicious. So first off, we're going to make the crust. I like to make a crust by Ina Gardner, the Barefoot Contessa. So I'm going to show you that the recipe that I have will make a top and a bottom crust, but for this I only need one crust. So I'm just going to cut that recipe in half, or what you could do is just make the full recipe and save half of it in the freezer and use that again in the future for another pie. So for your pie crust, you want to use a food processor or a little chopper mixer, which I have one of those, and we'll prepare the pie crust and then we'll refrigerate for 30 minutes to set. You want to start with some really cold butter, and then we will chop that up and then we'll put that right back into the fridge. So half of the recipe that is going to be then 6 tablespoons. I have a sharp knife to cut up that butter. And we just want to cut that in little pieces, kind of like little cubes even. And having cold ingredients, you have the cold water as well as the cold butter and shortening, and that helps you get a flaky crust. It doesn't have to be perfect little cubes. I just cut it in little very small pieces. Okay, once you have the butter all chopped up, then you want to put that back in the fridge. I'm going to add the flour, salt, and sugar. So that for the one crust, I'll need 1.5 cups of flour. Flour gets a little messy, that's okay. Half a teaspoon salt and half a tablespoon of sugar. Then I'm going to pulse that a few times. Alright, that's fun. Next, you want to add the butter and the cold shortening. Put my readers on. It calls for 1/3 of a cup, and 1/3 of a cup is 5 1/3 teaspoons. So you just want to half that because we're going to make half the recipe. I like these sticks of shortening. It does come in the tub, but what it's nice about these sticks is it's measured out for you. So that's nice. And can just store the rest back in easily. Get a little napkin. So I'm going to go ahead and post that in. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is add the cold water. Again, you want it to be cold, so if you have water from the fridge that's cold, or if you don't have that, then you can just get some tap water, put some ice cubes in it, but you want that water to be cold. So for this one pie crust, we'll need 3 to 4 tablespoons of ice water. If you had a regular food processor, you could just pour that in and be pulsing at the same time, but since I don't have that, then I just put in a tablespoon at a time and kind of check it. You want to see that it's going to form into a ball. I'll just put 2 in there. So now I'm at 3 tablespoons here. I can start to see it's incorporating. It's getting to a ball. I'm just going to put not even about a quarter of a tablespoon. See how that does. Okay, it's forming into a ball on the side there. So then what I want to do is have a floured surface, form that into a ball, put that with plastic wrap, and put that in the fridge. Okay, got my plastic wrap ready, put a little bit of flour on there. Make that into a nice little ball. And wrap that up. Okay, it's all ready to go in the fridge for 30 minutes. Next, we're going to prepare the apple filling. So we're going to chop up those apples. We need 8 cups, which is about 8 medium apples. For pie, I think it's good to have a variety of apples. So I have some Granny Smith apples and some Fuji apples. So to cut those, you could just use a regular peeler and then slice them into small slices. I actually, a few years ago from Pampered Chef, got a great apple peeler core, so I'm going to utilize that. This is a fun gadget. So I just rinsed off my apples, put it in, and then I hold it down and spin it, and it's going to core and peel it and slice it. Oh, it's good to have a little discard bowl. Always have like a little extra bowl when I'm cooking or baking for your little discard pile. I would say sometimes this one doesn't fully get all the peels all the way off, but anyways, there you go. It's in some nice little slices. And then what I do from that is so you can see here, it's in some nice little slices, and then I'll just cut it like that, and there you go. And this will take a moment to do all of these, but this one, then it has this release button. which is a little tricky. Don't want to cut yourself. That thing is very sharp. Move the knife out of my way as well. Back once all of these are cut up. Okay, my apples are all peeled. I ended up deciding to use 7 apples instead of 8 because I thought some of them were more onto the large size, so that looks like plenty of apples to fill my pie. And there you go. I'm just going to clean up a little bit, rinse this off. When you use the apple peeler core, sometimes you will get a little bit of peel still on there. I don't mind a little bit of peel, but if you have extra, then I just take it and slice off that extra peel, once it's all cut up in the slices, and just slice down and get some of that peel off. So let me clean up a little bit, and then we're going to go ahead and add the spices and sugar to those apples. I don't know if I mentioned that I use my Crocker cookbook. So I've had this thing forever. I feel like my mom used to make different things from Betty Crocker, so I have like little tabs on it, my different favorite recipes. I mean, anymore I use a lot of recipes off Pinterest, but I like also just having some actual cookbooks to cook with, and they might even get little splatters on them, and so that's fine. So again, I find this on the apple pie, and then it has different variations. So what the variation I love, and this one we're making today, is the French apple pie. So for that, it does call for the sugar for 1/3 a cup to 2/3 of a cup. So if you would round that up, so 2/3 would equal then 4/6, and 1/2 a cup would be 3/6. So I'm going to say I'm going to put instead around 1/2 a cup. So that's like not quite the 2/3 amount though. So I'm going to add the sugar in. Calls for 1/4 a cup of flour, 1/2 teaspoon cinnamon, and 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. They have that little spout that you can pour it. I just tend to take off that whole little lid and put my measuring spoon right in. That's what I like to do. Low on the cinnamon, and I have another one going in my pantry ready to go because I use cinnamon quite a lot. Actually, cinnamon's good for your blood sugar, so you can just sprinkle that on lots of things like yogurt, add that into a smoothie. So cinnamon's good for you. And then want to give that a stir to incorporate without trying to let it get out of the bowl. That's a little challenging. When I was doing the apples, I would have like a bit of apple juice fine and some little bit fly on the ground. Okay, cooking and baking can be a slightly messy endeavor, but it is fun, and the results are delicious. It smells good with the spices. Okay, our filling is all done. And make sure I waited the allotted 30 minutes and then go ahead and pull out the pie crust and then roll that out and put that in my little cute pie pan. One thing I do when my pie crust is still setting in the fridge is prepare that crumb topping. Ooh, so yummy. So for that, I need 1 cup of flour. I've packed in 1/2 cup of brown sugar. And I cut up 1/2 cup of cold butter. And you want to stir that in. So I wonder, what are your different fall recipes to make? I make my everything good pumpkin, and oh, it's so delicious. It's like you take a pie pumpkin, and then you put in yummy things like Gruyere cheese and cream and bacon, and oh, that's delicious. This year I also tried out with my apples and apple coffee cake. And so each year I kind of try like maybe something new, mix it up, and then have my standards like my everything good pumpkin and my apple pie. But what are the things that you like to make in the fall? And let me know in the comment section. Love to hear that, and possibly I'll give those a go too. And it's so fun to hear ideas from other people and what their different traditions are. Like one of my other traditions, like every time the kids got out of school, we make homemade ice cream every end of the school year. That's like another tradition. So I have different things that I make at just certain times of the year, and some things I make all year round, like let's say chocolate chip cookies or a protein smoothie. That's just like an everyday kind of thing. But special things for different times of the year, I think that just makes it, really fun and gives your family something to look forward to, and something for you to look forward to as well. I also like to drink some apple cider, and where I go apple picking has some fresh apples and donuts, and so I only get that treat just once a year. Okay, my crumble topping is ready to go. If you'd like to incorporate it more, you could use a little pastry blender, but for this recipe, I think that's fine just to give it a stir. I'll show you a little trick to get that air out when I'm closing my brown sugar. I give it a close, and then I pop it open. You could hear that, but a little extra air escaped. So again, kind of shut it, and feel a little edge, pop open, and let that extra air out, because that's going to keep it fresher longer. Okay, so I have the pie crust ball out of the fridge, and I have a piece of parchment paper with some flour on it. I like these little parchment paper. These are great for cookies. They're already pre-cut out for you, but I also just have a roll of parchment paper, but those are real convenient. And this is nice and chilled. And I'm going to add a little flour to that. And I kind of give it a start by pressing with the palm of my hand. And then I have my roller. This one again, I think this one was from Pamper Chef perhaps. I don't know. Back in the day, I went to a lot of the different Pamper Chef parties, and I find that's really lasted a long time, a lot of my things. Like the garlic press I used quite a lot. I've had to replace that and a few other things, but some of the things have just lasted me a very long time. And so when you're rolling, I'm moving myself. You could move this instead of moving yourself. But you want to just roll out from the center. And I'm not going to say I'm like the perfect person for making a perfectly shaped pie crust. I wouldn't say that's like my expertise, but it tastes good. And if you don't want to make the pie crust from scratch, don't feel bad. I definitely have, especially when my kids were little, not taking that time to make maybe one from scratch. But I do use like the Pillsbury box ones plenty of times. So you can use that too. And then you kind of want to look to see like what's the size, and you can kind of gauge it like, okay, have I rolled it out enough? So I think I have. So a couple of things here. You can kind of roll it slightly like this and then roll it back in. That's usually the way I go about it. I'm saying that this is a perfect, like I'm the best at a perfectly shaped pie crust, like I said. And then you kind of roll it back out. I would say my daughter's better at it. I usually, if she is around, then I have her help me and have her, well, this is a little bit soft and it's actually not kind of laying like I like it to. And you know what? That can happen with baking. I might have added just perhaps a touch bit too much water maybe when I was preparing the crust. And that's okay. Then I'm just going to use my thumbs as a little tool to fix my crust and get it to the right shape. So I'm going to go ahead. I'll pause this for a second while I do that. Okay, my crust is in there. I'm going to say I probably should have rolled it a little bit flatter, and then you can kind of do the cute little edges, but we're going to put the crumb topping on top, so I'm going to be fine with this. So that's what mine looks like. Again, not the perfect baker, but I do enjoy baking. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and add my apples. And that's when I say, don't give yourself all that pressure that like, oh, it just has to look exactly like, the Pinterest picture or the magazine picture, because you know what? You made it with your heart and showing love to those who you're going to share it with. And that's really the most important thing, I think. So one year I forgot to add the sugar to the pumpkin pie. Oops. We were all sitting down for Thanksgiving, and then all of us were like, this doesn't quite taste this right. And what did I do? And then I realized, oh my gosh, I got so busy with all the other things I was cooking, between the mashed potatoes and the green beans and the turkey and all of this, and that I forgot to add the sugar to the pumpkin pie. Oh well, you know what? We just had a little bit extra whipped cream, and it was probably a little healthier for us. So and it's a funny memory, okay, because my kids like to laugh about that. And so sometimes a cooking mistake can just add to fun memories, like this one time when I tried to make soup, that I was like, oh, I'm just not going to follow a recipe for this soup. And then, I don't know, it didn't turn out that great. And the kids still talk about that to this day, about mom, and can you actually make some soup? So I have followed more recipes since then for soup, and then they actually liked the soup I made after that. So that's good. And you know what? Hey, I gave it a go, and that's just A for effort, right? Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and add my crumble topping. Let me get a little spoon for that. Then I have the oven preheated to 425, and then it cooks, I think it's like 50 minutes. It says during the last 10 minutes of baking to put foil on the edges, so then the pie crust edges don't burn. I actually don't have that many edges sticking out because, again, I don't think I rolled that quite thin enough. I have what they call a pie crust guard, so because I make various pies throughout the year, and I put that on instead of foil, but I definitely have used foil in the past. So put that on, and then I'm going to pop that in the oven. I'll show you guys what it looks like when it's all done. So my husband can tell when I'm cooking because you can smell something delicious, and then I do create a lot of pots and pans, and I'm not minimalist there, so there'll be a lot to tidy up after, but this does smell so yummy. I did end up putting some foil on it during the last 15 minutes of baking because I thought it was browning a little bit much. So I am gonna let this cool before we enjoy it. We'll probably have that after dinner. And I hope you would please consider subscribing for more great tips from my channel. And let me know if you end up making this for you and your loved ones. This is Graciously Gloria, and enjoy.